Peace to the saints. I want to kick a little bit of game to you if you don't mind. So, a lot of times when we're dealing with women, we're too thirsty. And you know what? It really reminds me of how I watch people eat. There are those instincts that are, animalistic, and human beings are animals. And if you're not trained out of it, then you're always going to display those traits. So, walk with me for a moment while I share this metaphor with you. When I was a child, my grandmother would always tell me, slow down, the food isn't going anywhere. And I would always wonder, like, why are you harassing me? Why are you always on my back? And she'd say, slow down, chew your food. It's not going anywhere. Take your time. And after being conditioned and trained, I'm now a very slow eater. I'm the slowest eater I know. As a result, I never gained weight. Like I've never been overweight, rather. And when I look at other people eating, I'm kind of like, damn, Brody, like kind of pigging out. You heard me? Like, calm down with it, man. And it's a level of refinement that was put in me through training. And as a result, I can now see the difference between people who were not trained. They eat too fast, they eat like animals, they're not civilized, they're not refined. The meal is not an experience for them, it's about consumption. Now, I say all that to say this with regards to women, that animal drive in us, the biological instinct, we pursue them with a little too much ambition. We're a little too overt at the wrong times. So as a result, they can see us coming from a mile away. But here's the kicker: you're not unique, little buddy. You're doing the exact same behavior as the 3,000 dudes that tried to holler at her before you. Huh? You didn't learn anything about her. You didn't qualify her. You just tried to shoot that shot straight away. What it lets her know about you is that you don't have any standards. You don't have standards about yourself. It's almost like a lack of self respect. You're some kind of an animal. You'll accept any woman, whether she has the same values or not. Now, women get thirsty too. It's just that they don't get thirsty as often. You might not see a woman get thirsty until the 6'5", athletic looking master specimen shows up. Then they get thirsty. But Brody only shows up once every 2 years. Whereas with men, we're indiscriminate. So as long as Shorty got two legs and two lips, yeah, we about to see what it do. And it's that thirst in you that's a major turnoff, because she can assess that you're not into her in particular. You're into any woman. And nobody wants to be used. The feeling you would get if a woman were to use you for your money is the same feeling a woman would get thinking that you just want to use her for her body. This doesn't mean she doesn't want to give up the body and give up the box. No, absolutely. She ready to serve that up. But it needs to be at least a little bit special, right? So what I want to encourage you guys with is not only to have a little bit of etiquette to your game, it's also have some self-respect. Make sure you qualify, Shorty. And in exercising that self-respect, she's going to have more respect for you. You have to be the first one to respect yourself. She's going to follow suit. Problem is, y'all ain't got no standards. Now, dig this. Then you want to move on to the piece of empathy, not for the purpose of being sensitive or, a nice, emotionally developed man. Hell nah. For self-interest, you want to be empathetic, which is to say, put yourself in the position of a woman. How many guys today said, oh, you're beautiful? Shorty works at the front desk in a hotel. How many guys tried to slide after they got their room key? When you're in a customer service facing position, for example, as a female, guys already have an entree into striking up a conversation just as a part of a transaction, a business transaction. So even the cowards are going to try to shoot their shot. Whereas if the same female was walking by them on the street or in the mall, they wouldn't say a damn thing. But they feel like it's easier because the woman has to talk to them as a function of executing her job duties. So, in as much as that's the case, you can bet your bottom dollar that an awful lot of men have tried to slide. So, in terms of being empathetic, you got to ask yourself, how far above average am I? How much do I stand out? If she's a beautiful woman and she handled 300 transactions today, probably about 30% of those guys tried to slide, whether overtly and aggressively or more low key and subtly. So you have to ask yourself, am I saying what she's heard before? Am I displaying behavior that's predictable and typical? Am I standing out in any meaningful way? Am I a value add to her? Did I make her earn it? Everybody likes to earn things. Things of value are the things that are expensive, or at least we perceive them to be of value when we have to work for it. When it costs us a lot of money, costs us time, costs us effort. And you can learn a lot from observing the moves of the human female. By the way, hit that like button if you didn't. What you'll see with the human female is that they're takers by nature, and they'll take quite a bit from you. And in taking from you, they draw you in deep. You feel like you have so much investment. And with your investment in that female increases the likelihood of you sticking with her. Similarly, the girl could be a complete slore. She's still gonna hide the vagina from you, hear me, and make you earn it, which is extraordinary because it's used. But she's gonna make you earn it. Why? It increases retention. So let's go flip mode. The question for you is, how do you take some of her tactics and apply them to her? You be way ahead of the game because most men are not willing to think twice. They're operating off of fear and animal instinct mixed together, but not the right animal instinct, not the vicious, dominant animal, more so of the animal that's weak and treacherous, more hyena like. You want to operate out of the lion's mentality, out of the Black Panther's mentality, not off of a hyena and a vulture mentality, not a scavenger mentality. And that's what we observe in most males. So now, let's consider this. When you're a little bit different, or shall I say noticeably different, when the woman engages you, she's going to think twice, she's going to look twice. And you need to be able to pick up on that. You need to be able to identify, like, got you. I'm in. Then it's time to be aggressive. It's like in boxing. You might be feeling out your opponent. You might be hitting them with the jab, not too hard. You know, you're holding back a little bit of energy. You know, this may be a marathon or maybe not. Could be a first round knockout. But you're a shark in water, and when the blood is in the water, that's when you attack and become vicious, hyper aggressive. Close the deal, in other words. Close the deal, which is close out the contact info or close out the smash or close out the date. One of the three. So check this out. This is the difference between a mere mortal and a super player. I call Verizon today. I'm doing some traveling in some odd countries, and I haven't been getting phone service on either of my devices, so I call up Verizon. And in the midst of her giving me the customer service, now mind you, I'm not trying to slide at all. Why is that, Marquette? I don't even know where Shorty lives. You heard me? Like, it's a total waste of time. She doesn't speak the best English I've heard. Like, English is pretty good, but I've never seen her face. I'm not in a long distance relation. There's 1,000 reasons I'm not trying to slide. I'm just trying to get my phones working. So we're waiting on a number of things, number of processes, and as that goes, there's just a little bit of small talk. I'm not really engaging it. I'm actually doing things while I'm on the phone. Then I'm talking on one phone, she has to call me on the other device. And, when you really are a super player, there's a different feel. You're going to do things differently than other guys. You have a different level of confidence and dominance. And so she called me on the other phone, and I answered the phone like, "Hey, baby." And then she starts laughing, and the conversation carries on. I'm still not trying to slide. I'm just having fun because I enjoy life. And then eventually she says, "Hey, do you like tattoos?" In my head, I'm like, what are we talking about here? Can I get my phone fixed, shorty? Like, now at this point, she hit me with so much conversation, it's like slowing down the process. I say, yeah, it depends. Like mostly no. But depending on the person, it can look good. She says, "Oh, I just got a tattoo recently." I say, "Oh yeah, would you get a butterfly?" And she says, "Yeah, actually, I did get a butterfly." And in my head, I'm like, "Okay, you're a very basic female, nothing of interest." Now, the way you're going to engage with a female when you think she's like not very interesting or impressive, that level of nonchalance and disinterest, oh, that turns them on. Marquette, why does that turn them on? Because that's not everyday stuff, my boy. We're going to get into it. But first, as we have a tradition, show love to those who show love to you. Let me acknowledge the real men and women supporting the work. So, if you'd be kind enough to confirm that you can see me and hear me. Looks like it just crashed unexpectedly. And by the way, I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your channel. Shout out to this fan channel. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe. Great content here. Very weird. Can you put in the chat in a full sentence? I can see you and hear you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Maury Johnson. Came in supporting the work. Very first person. You are appreciated. I also acknowledge OTM Clothing writes, "My good friends sicken me as the strongest man I know that becomes weak for a cute face and exposing himself in his weakness." Oh yeah, absolutely. But hey, check this out, man. The key is like let little buddy do what he do. You got to do what you do. You dig? The easiest way to stay content and satisfied in this world is to pay attention to the most important things. Fella writes, "I'm a serious passport bro. Would love to debate Marquette." Like, bro, get a life, man. Go become somebody, my nil. You hear me? Like, stop trying to debate me. Nigga, debate why you're a nobody. Figure that out before you start trying to debate bosses. Fuck is wrong with niggas in this planet Earth? You did? I need a new planet. I'm gonna have to call up Elon, see if that nigga can lend me a space shuttle. Got to get off of this planet, man. Use a goddamn peon, man. Have some self respect. The hell? Just listen to the lecture, man. Kick back, listen to the lecture. Anyway, shout out to Emmanuel. Use the Stripe link in the description, man. These rascals is outrageous. Shout out to Gary supporting the work as well. I mean, God, can I just give my lecture here without people trying to come up off of me? You heard me? Like, damn, bro, trying to get some fame off of me, man. Just be you and do you. Come up because you a boss, man. And by the way, you're an idiot anyways. I could already tell. My nil. Shout out to Miles, right? Peace of the Saints, Mr. Burton. After all of your travels across the earth, would you say that black men are found attractive in most countries? Safe travels, Mr. Burton. Look, man, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, man. When I encounter chicks, I let them know off rip. Listen, you might not like black guys. I'm one of one, none before, none to come. This is the best of them. You dig? You might be mad after this. You deal with an average black guy after this, you're gonna be mad. This is top of the food chain, man. I couldn't speak for if they like black guys. I could just speak for if they like bosses. I mean, let's be real here, man. Let's be real here, man. Ain't nobody showing up looking like this. Yeah, so like I couldn't even call it. Because if you read my book, The Black Box, you read one story where I was at this private school, this all girls private school. It's a Catholic school. I think it was Sacred Heart. No, or yeah, maybe I forget. You have to read the book. But I'm at an all girls private school, and I go holler at this little skinny teen, very skinny teen, and she says, "You know what? I don't like black guys, but I like you." And that's what it is. I wish all of us were like this, but that's just not what it is. So how could I fairly assess? I can only assess from my position, right? People ain't living like me. So they don't talk like me, they don't live like me, they don't walk like me, they don't have hand gestures like me. Man, I catch chicks off the hand gestures. You ever did that? You ever heard a shorty come up to you and tell you like, "I like the way you move your hands when you talk"? Like, come on, man. I couldn't even tell you how they feel about these niggas. I mean, my guess is that it's not really a thing. That's my guess. If I had to keep it a beam with you, my guess is that they're indifferent toward average black guys. That's my guess. Shout out to Mr. Gardner writes, "Peace of the Saints tuition." I could tell when I'm walking around, especially in countries where you don't have black people in general. I could tell, like when Shorty opened her eyes up a little bit too wide, I could tell she saw something she ain't never seen. But it'd be a real different story if she saw one of these regular dirtball niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just really the particular swag. I don't think it's like black guys in general. I don't think that's really a thing, to be honest with you. Shout out to Dubin, writes, it's been a while, Marquette. I've been working hard, church, focused, and have not been on social media, YouTube, etc., as you should, for the last 2 months. I've made the most money I've ever had recently, and I thank you because you helped. I appreciate that, and I congratulate you. May you all commend Dubin. He out here getting this guap. Huh? He getting his guap. That's a beautiful thing. You got other nerds in the chat talking about, Marquette, I want to debate you. Nigga, debate why you have trouble paying rent every month. Don't bother me, man. He writes also, Book of Dark Truths first or Big Game Conference? Well, it depends. Do you want to understand the world or do you want to understand your girl? Go ahead and pick one, man. I'm not judging either way. A lot of lying suckers will say, oh, don't focus on women, focus on the bag and focus. Nah, hell nah, man. Let's be real here. 9 out of 9, y'all can't even think straight if you ain't got a little bit of that good in your life. Huh? You can't think straight without some good in your life. And me personally, I ain't about to go cut on xhub.com. Nah, hell nah. I ain't about to be looking at a multitude of cockaroonies. Nah, Brody, I need that real deal in my life. So if you ain't got that taken care of, everything else is going to be a little bit off kilter because you haven't taken care of the basic human needs. Don't listen to these dweebs trying to tell you to be imbalanced and unnatural. That's why Nerve Fuentes is so stressed out all the goddamn time. Bro, about to implode. You dig? My nail about to implode. Yes, indeedy. Go ahead and send in your comments, questions, or else we'll end up just go ahead and wind down. I think we already got a little bit of good game out for you. But check this out. As I was saying, I'm on the phone with Verizon customer service. Shorty says, do you like tattoos? I'm like, not really. It can look good depending on the chick, but like 9 out of 9, nah, I'm good. And I said, well, what tattoo do you have? She says, guess. I said, well, you have a butterfly? She said, oh yeah, actually I do. I realized she's not very much so a woman that I can make anything with because she's probably just like brainless. She's not a thinking woman. I need a thinking woman. So as soon as she said that one, I knew I had her. Got her. And that's when you want to move to be aggressive, whether you're remote or you're face to face. That's when you turn it up on her because you got her. Now here's the issue: a lot of dudes, they don't know when to turn it up, and Shorty wants you to turn it up. You did, because what's happening is mostly women are playing defense. They dealing with a lot of peons, a lot of brainless dudes, kind of like old boy earlier who's like, Marquette, I'll debate you. Imagine being a peon like that. You heard me? You over here begging to debate bosses. Like, you's a loser, man. So she probably dealing with a lot of guys like that. And when she encounter these peons who have no self-awareness of who they are and what level they're at, then she just basically has a constant wall up playing defense. She'll never let that wall down. You dig? She go 24/7 like Dre, Snoop, and Devin with the wall up. Every now and then she sees something she like. You dig? So she dropped the gates. The gates open up. You got to run in there, my boy, because when she ready, she ready. Time is of the essence. You dig? You be shocked at what you can get done right now. Now is the most important time. Now is the most legendary time. This is where legends are made now. See, the problem is you don't believe in yourself, you don't love yourself, and you're not daring. You see, when you're daring, you could do all kind of stuff that an average guy can't do because he wouldn't even think of it. He wouldn't think of it, and if he thought of it, he damn sure wouldn't try it. You heard me? Yeah, while he's trying to figure out what his next move is, mind boggled, I'm over here doing the most extra wild, unbelievable, uncalled for stuff on earth. That's why half the time I describe stuff, the haters be like, nah, he didn't do that. Nah, nigga, yes, I did. Might have did it a couple times because I'm really like that. Huh? So the point is this. Shorty hit me with do you like tattoos? The question ain't really, do you like tattoos? The question, let me translate this. Let me translate this. What Shorty's really saying is like, I'm kind of feeling you. Yeah, I like the voice. I can't really figure that out. Okay. I'm interested. I want to let you know that I'm interested, but I'm a woman, so I don't know how to spit game. So I'm going to just say something stupid that allows me to check if you're interested in me and the kind of woman I am, because I'm a female, which means I have variable self esteem and it varies based on external factors. As a female, I don't really care about what most dudes think because most dudes are thirsty. You hear me? They just gonna like me anyways because I have a vagina. But now that I know that I'm interested in you potentially, let me see if you might be interested in me. So I'm gonna ask you about tattoos because I have a tattoo. Aha. So she hit me with that. I figure out she's basic. So I go ahead and convert the info real quick, right? Tell her to bang my line because she's at work. She can't even like tell me where she is or take down my information. So she's like, oh yeah, so if you just like no one can hear you, people can hear me, but nobody can hear you. So if you want to tell me your information, so yeah, for sure though. So then she go ahead bang my line on IG. Easy work, man. Easy work, little Russian ting, man. Little Russian ting. And she looked exactly like you would hope a Russian ting looks like. You dig? Now here's another piece to check out. And this is you guys miss out on the subtleties of the game. So Shorty says, and it's when they start asking you those personal questions, got him. So Shorty says, how old are you? I tell her my age. She's like, oh, okay. You sound like so much younger than that. You sound like you're more like 27. Now you got to peep this. I said, how old are you? She said, I'm 23. I'm like, okay. So she's bringing my age to where she wants it to be. You see what I'm saying? She's trying to get my age closer to her ideal. So she's taking her imagination and painting the perfect man and trying to line me up with that, right? Cool. Now, here's the thing. What you guys don't realize is that 9 out of 9, a woman that's not interested in you, she trying to DQ you. Yeah, she trying to disqualify you for any little thing because she ain't really feeling you like that. That's why when cats ask me, like, Quet, I said this and then things fell apart. What should I have said? I'm like, bro, it didn't matter what you would, nigga. You could have said anything on earth. You were not about to win because she ain't feeling you like that. Sometimes it just get like that. There are definitely times where that game is gonna overcome. You dig? Where that ism is gonna get them. But every now and then she just ain't feeling you. Man, you could have had the coldest game on earth. You could have been dressed like the big homie. It ain't gonna work. And you got to know what time it is. So 9 out of 9, she's just trying to DQ you. Why? Because as I said at the beginning, in terms of being empathetic for the female's position, is guys are shooting shots left and right. So they got to swat them down left and right. They got to reject a lot more guys than they accept just by, if they accepted every guy, they'd never have any free time. You know what I mean? Their guts would be hollow. So they got to reject most guys. So they just trying to DQ you off rip. As soon as you do something stupid, you're out. But hey, here's the thing. You were damn near never in. Now, in my case, she trying to mess with bosses. So she going to do everything to qualify me. She going to do everything to make me meet the criteria. She said, oh, I thought you was like 27 or something. But she going to make an exception. You dig? She going to break some rules for the big homie. Huh? Now, I converted the info ASAP, right when I knew it was on go. If we were in person, I would have turned it up another level. We on the phone. She at work right now. So that'll do for now. I noticed she wasn't trying to DQ me. She was doing quite the opposite. Okay, I'm winning right now. Another thing to understand is, though, you might be looking for a woman most of the time. Most of y'all are thirsty. She ain't looking for a man. Huh? Yeah, we're going to elaborate on that in a hot second. Let me acknowledge some of the folks supporting the work. Shout out to Mo Dallas. Right, so what are your thoughts on John Furcus game? Never heard of Brody. I think it's honestly the only value he brings to the internet. He says something very similar to what you said about knowing when to be dismissive. Well, I wasn't being dismissive because I just don't like tattoos. I was just being honest. So I wasn't being dismissive. There are times where I could choose to be, but I was just being honest. I don't really like tattoos like that. But here's the important thing. Most guys are groveling with these broads. You feel me? Yeah, they groveling. So, when they're over here bent over backwards, trying to impress her, trying to say the things she likes, trying to be palatable, they lose masculinity. And women don't respect that. In fact, men, nobody respects that. So I was just keeping it a bean with Shorty because she didn't mean nothing to me. And why would she? She's just a broad on the customer service call at Verizon, you see. But when you can take that same mentality to a woman that's right in front of you, shaped exactly the way that you like. You hear me? Yeah, she got them thin wrists, that skinny neck, them large eyes, them full lips, that nice hair, and a fatty with a small waist, and you still keeping it player. Yeah, man, you in a position to win. And that your countenance and your general way of being is going to convey to her, like, look here, a little bitty bit. I wouldn't give a if you drop dead right now. You're not important to me. You got to earn it. So when they can feel that from you, that's going to psychologically put them in a different headspace to where they're trying to impress you. And in their effort to impress you, got them, got them. You flip the whole dynamic. You went from being a trick to being a super player. And that's really how you want to be. Because these chicks ain't looking for a man, not the ones you want. The ones you don't want, oh, they're absolutely looking for a man. The one you want, nah, she ain't looking for a man. They're looking for her. And here's the other thing that's crazy. I can't tell you how often a chick could come like try to holler at me, slide my DMs and what have you. And then they'll say, oh, I can't believe you're single. And in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? What is that? Ain't nobody single. How am I gonna be single? That's not even possible. Like that's not possible. I can't be single. You don't even think I'm single. Why are you playing games right now? But here's the kicker. What female you think is single? She attractive and single? Nah, Brody, that's a lie. She got two or three dudes that she still keep in contact with. One took her virginity. The other one was her college sweetheart, and another one was a dude who used to beat her. You dig? Yeah, the virginity dude, the college sweetheart, and the woman beater. Yeah, they in contact with all three of them niggas, man. And listen, if they don't get the guy that they're searching and seeking for, they end up with one of those dudes. Or when you end up with in an argument with Shorty, she gonna be texting little buddy, man. And check this out, Brody. If you ever find out, man, kick her to the curb. Ain't no do-overs. Ain't no do-overs. Kick her straight to the curb. Don't Ike Turner the broad. You dig? Don't do that, man. Just cut her off like a light switch, man. Yes, indeed. I'm trying to save the people, save the women, save the children. Marquetism is for the kids. Marquetism saves lives. Anyways, here's another piece for you. Actually, we'll take a pause for the cause. If y'all want to keep it going, we can keep it going. If y'all want to keep it going, we can keep it going. Otherwise, I'm going to get back to this beautiful life and I'm going to let y'all get back to whatever it is you guys are enjoying at whatever hour it is, wherever you may find yourself. If you happen to come upon a convenience store that has travel size baby oil, if you'd be kind enough to grab that for me, I'd be very appreciative. No diddy. Okay, look. Might also have to mess around and tell a player story too. You dig? I have to do that. Shout out to Melvin. He writes Tuition Pieces of Saints. How do you turn in boring environments and advise on I think you meant escalating from a public place to the house. So when you write, how do you turn in boring environments? I'm not even sure what you mean by that, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna go ahead and put together a meaning and answer that question. So maybe you're saying, how do you convert in boring environments? A boring environment, an environment with low stimulation, that's perfect. You hear me? Because she's looking for a psychological escape, which would be you. That's number one. Then number two, the escalation from wherever you're at to the house. Oh, that's 100% based on if she's actually interested. And I tell you what, you'd be better off trying to find out rather than just like waiting to see a sign. If you didn't see the sign, man, go ahead and push the issue. You'll never lose at anything in life for being too aggressive. Marquette, women have told me I'm too aggressive. Nah, Brody, you weren't too aggressive. They just ain't like you like that. Because if a chick likes you, she gonna forgive everything. You dig? That's why you ever see a girl that just puts up with anything from a dude. Well, I'll tell you why. They put up with anything because like he's that guy to her. You heard me? He could do what he wants, say what he wants. Yeah, they gonna put up with it. So the key is that alignment. You got to spit a lot of game. The problem is a lot of people ain't even spitting enough game because, as the homie said, everybody ain't feeling everybody. Huh? You got to find what's out there for you. Not everything's for you, little buddy. And check this out, man. If you really out here kicking game, you're gonna make some come ups. Matter of fact, I was just walking around this particular country. I walked by, obviously, quite a few people on this stroll, but there's a man and woman together. I'm walking by, and they're saying something to each other, and then the woman greets me in Russian. I say, what's up? And then she turns to the guy and she's like, he doesn't speak Russian. So she's telling him in their language, in Russian, that this guy doesn't speak Russian. And then the guy obviously was her homie or maybe her brother. I don't know. The guy is telling her, like, man, you better go talk to him. You better try something. You better figure something out. And then so she like he calls me over, he calls me, and then she says something too. I'm kind of looking at it, and then he's like, I'm over here like, okay, all right, let me see what it do. So I walk over, and then he just walks off. You hear me? As soon as I walk over, bro, just walk off. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all handle business. So I walk over there, and the reason I wanted to share this with you guys is because of the following. You're always like cats are always concerned about what do I say to her? How do I do this? It's like you're working too hard out here, man. And I'm not saying everybody's just gonna get the chick off the Swizzag. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. But what I am saying is like, man, kick back sometimes. I mean, goddamn. Like you don't have to do so much tap dancing. So Shorty's over here trying to communicate with me. So she's over here like French. I was like, nah, definitely not. She's like, no. She was like, do you speak this language, which I'm not gonna name because I'm not trying to tell people where I'm at. Then she was like, no Russian. I was like, nah, no Russian. She's like, English only. I was like, yes, English. Now here's the trippy part, man. We're going back and forth. Eventually, I pull out the old faithful Google Translate, and and we're by the theater. We're outside in this particular country. The theater was nearby, and she was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, I love the theater. And I was like, yeah, I love the theater too. And she's like, well, man, we might need to go get some tickets. I was like, yeah, except it's like 2 a.m. She was like, yeah, another day. I was like, yeah, another day. And she says to me, so here's the crazy thing. So we're conversing, and I got time, right? I got time. So I'm not even really tripping. I'm not even trying to finesse nothing. You hear me? I'm just outside getting some fresh air. And so we're talking, and then eventually, I'm not going to give too much context as we're speaking publicly, but let's just say at four different points. Now, mind you, Shorty pretty much is like fluent in two languages, speaks some terrible French, and like no English. But at four different instances, Shorty just come out of nowhere and hit me with a whole clean ass English phrase. There was one point Shorty hit me with that. She was like, "Wushka buda."
Oh my God. I'm over here like, man, what the fuck? Do you speak English or not? Like you hit niggas with whole phrases. Like, where'd you even get that? Then at another point, when everything we're about to part ways, Shorty hit me with that. I kid you not, she hit me with this, man. She hit me with that. I love you. I don't know if you meant to say that. I love you. I'm over here like, like nah, you don't love me. No, I love you, and I'm over here like, oh God. So obviously she knew a little something in English, which it's funny the which phrases somebody learns. But anyways, I say all that to say this: if a chick is interested in you, man, she gonna figure out how to communicate, how to impress you, how to stay in contact. She gonna invite you on dates. She gonna bring you gifts. She gonna give you compliments, and that's probably a woman to consider. But here's the thing: a lot of guys don't even know how to play this position because they're so used to being the peon in the dynamic. They're used to being the seeker. You heard me? And so what happens is when the chick puts them in position, the guy doesn't know how to maintain it. You heard me? She puts you in the position of a super player. She's respecting you at that level, but you're behaving like a trick. Huh? Come on now. Shout out to Andre supporting the work. Respect. Bull. Andre, I was actually looking for your number earlier today. I wanted to ask you, did you receive your jacket? Would you mind letting me know? I know the shipping is a little bit slower during the holidays, but I was curious as to if you received your jacket. Yeah, my last piece I want to give you guys, and shout out to the folks who support the work. As we say, show love to those who show love to you, so you are appreciated. The last piece is to stay manly, and that goes back to the three sins Bible: be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people, right? Stay manly. So what'll happen is that if you're around someone who's influential, so check this out. Let's give you two scenarios. You're around the homies, you're around men you respect, maybe you're around older men, powerful men. What'll happen is, of course, some of them might rub off on you. So you might take on some of their characteristics, some of their manners of speech, what have you. That's all good. But what shouldn't happen is you around abroad, you start taking on her characteristics and her manner of speech. She don't respect it. Now you might think it's a give and take because you might do things or say things in a particular way, and Shorty might start talking like you. She might start doing things you do. It's cute and it's funny, but don't do it in return, right? I even had Shorty back in the day. I remember it was very funny. I went to the bathroom. I come back to my room in university. Shorty put my do rag on. She thought it was funny, and I ain't gonna lie to you, it was funny as hell. But would I ever put on one of her articles of clothing? Hell nah. So I come back. She got my do rag on. She be like, "Yeah, hey, what's up? What's up?" And I'm like, "Ah, you're a funny one, huh?" But I would never do the opposite or the analog and like try to imitate her. Nah, that's out. So when you fail to maintain your manliness, you start looking like a broad, and they don't respect that, huh? And it's not like they gonna check you and tell you like, "Hey, Brody, you're why are you talking soft like that? You did? Why are you sitting like that?" Don't mirror females. That's what a lot of these nerd dweeb pickup artist coaches they tell you this goofy stuff like, "Yeah, mirror her body language." So what you gonna walk with a switch too, my boy? And these are all the strange things that you hear from people who don't have it in their blood. And the worst thing about it is they start off with lies. They start telling you that you could get any woman. Hell no, you can't get any woman. There's some women who don't date black guys. There's some women who only date black guys. There's some women who only date thugs. There's some women who only date Christians. You can't get every woman. But what you can always do is you can always have self-respect and be yourself. The way I look at it, man, if a woman don't want me, she's a damn fool because I'm proud of the man that I am. You see what I'm saying? Like when you've developed yourself and you're a man who deserves respect, if a woman don't want me, I damn near got to question her sanity. You dig? I don't want her if she don't want me because she ain't trying to deal with bosses. Leave her where she stand. Anyways, shout out to the folks who supported the work. And may I also, of course, give a big shout out to all of my members. You are appreciated. I hope you guys are living good lives. And one thing I want to say specifically to my members is just my little piece of advice for enjoying the good life is, don't take things too seriously. Like a lot of things don't matter. People act like everything matters. Hell nah, very few things matter. You dig? Everything else, you can laugh it off, man. Everything else, just keep it player. So make sure that you enjoy life and you continue striving and going for the best things in life. Until next time, peace to the saints.